All right, guys, I'm back. This is week 3 of the bones. Okay, we talk about the vertebral column, clavicle, and scapula. Okay, so here is your vertebral column. So if we start, we have your cervical vertebrae. So coming off the base of the skull, you have 2, and they're blue on this one because we're showing the differences. So it goes blue cervical for 7, thoracic 12, 5 lumbar. So if you can see this, okay, cervical, thoracic, lumbar, okay. The C7, okay, this is the one that sticks out the farther. So if you bend your head forward and that knot you feel right at the back of your neck, that's C7. That's telling you the cervical vertebrae are ending, okay. So if we're looking then at specific, so that hopefully you can see the vertebral column. I know it's kind of hard, but that's how those are aligned with one another. This is the atlas and the axis, okay? So the atlas and the axis are what allows your head to turn. There's C1 and C2. So the axis is going to have an axis. This is called your dens, and this is what the atlas spins on. So the ability for you to do this with your head, okay, is because these 2 vertebrae sit at the top of your spinal cord, and this one rotates on the other one. So I'm rotating and pivoting my head. So atlas, think round, big round circle like a globe. It does not have a spinous process on it. So see where there's no point that sticks out, okay? See this one, this has a dens on it, so it sticks out, but it also has a spinous process that sits out down here. Okay, so atlas and axis. Hopefully you can see the difference between these. Okay, then if I'm looking at, sorry, I have to grab it, a specific vertebrae, okay, let me find one that you can see fairly simply, okay, this is a vertebrae. I just grabbed one, okay, so if I'm looking at it, this big circular part is the body of my vertebrae, okay. So the centrum or the body. The vertebral foramen is just like any other foramen. It's the hole. It's where the spinal cord goes through. Okay? The spinous process is the process that sticks out to the back. So everything you feel when you touch along your back is the spinous process. The transverse processes are then the ones that stick out to the sides. Hopefully you can see these. Okay? They are larger on certain vertebrae, so it depends on what vertebrae you choose from what area. Okay? The transverse foramen is what's formed, pull this back up, in between. So see where these little nerve roots are coming out of the side? Okay, so where the 2 vertebrae come together, this is the transverse foramen. So each nerve root comes out in between the 2 vertebrae. Okay, hopefully that shows you what you need. Okay, so I think that's everything. The vertebral notch then is in the center of that. So if you go down your vertebral column, this part down here that we sit on, and it's covered up a lot in here by some ligaments and stuff, on the one I have, I'll show you better, is your sacrum. Okay, it comes in between your 2 hip bones. Okay, so this is one hip bone, okay, and this is your sacrum. So it sits, okay, in between here, like this. Okay, so this is my hip, this is my sacrum. Okay, so sacrum, oops, I lost my list. Where did it go? Okay. Sorry guys. List left the building. Pulling it back up. Again, real time, so I'm showing you what I'm doing. All right. So the sacral surface. So auricle surface, okay, is down where they're gonna kind of move with. So these little guys here, and then the sacral canal. Again, a canal is a hole. Okay, so where it articulates. Your coccyx is your tailbone. Now it's missing off of this one. I have it separate right here. Okay, so if I plucked my tailbone off, I would attach it to the bottom. Okay, so if I show you on the vertebrae again, okay, right here. So it's the part we sit on. Okay, so this little tiny thing down here is called your coccyx. Okay, so that is vertebrae and sacrum and coccyx. Hopefully that helps you a little bit. My rib cage here is next. Okay, so I'm looking at my rib cage. Okay, my sternum. My sternum is my breastbone that's in the center. Okay, it has 3 points to it. It has a manubrium, which is this top part. It has a body, which is this middle part, and then it has a xiphoid process that sticks out of the bottom. Your xiphoid process is what we find, and then your heart apex, or the point of your heart, is directly behind that. Okay, so if you feel in the center of your chest right here, this is the xiphoid process. Okay, in terms of ribs, okay, so you have a head of a rib, which is attached to the sternum, the body of the rib that goes around, and the neck of the rib. So ribs are pretty easy. I'm not going to ask you specifically about them. Okay, your clavicle, okay, is right over here. Okay, and this is your collarbone. Okay, so your collarbone. So again, yes, your head and neck of your rib is where it comes around, and then your body. Okay. So here is your clavicle. It has a sort of S curve to it, okay, that fits in. And so this end goes into your, oops, let's figure out where this is going, would be this side. So this attaches to your shoulder. It attaches with your acromion, okay? So the acromial extremity is going to be the end that is a little more flatter, so it's more rounded and flatter, where this one, see how it's kind of pinched, and it doesn't have as big of a circle on the end. So this is the sternal extremity, so this is what's attaching to the sternal side, or your inside here, and then this one that is more circular and flatter is your acromial extremity. Oh wait, sorry. I'm wrong on that. I just gave you the wrong, because I'm on the wrong freaking side. Sorry, guys. The flatter one is your acromial extremity. This side goes sternal. So flatter, rounded sternal, pinched, skinnier is acromial. Okay? Then your scapula is next. So your clavicle attaches in on here to your scapula. So your scapula sits like this. This would be this side. On your, whoops, trying to video, on the back of your shoulder blade. So it's your shoulder blade, okay? This big wing that kind of comes around, okay, is your acromion. So this is where your clavicle articulates with, or makes a joint with. This is my glenoid fossa. So this is where my arm bone actually hooks into. So my humerus is going to sit on this. My humeral head is going to fit on this glenoid fossa. This bony part that sticks off of here is my coracoid process. Okay, so this is where some muscles attach to, so it's really important. It's kind of tender. If you put your hand in here and press, that's your coracoid process. It's very, very tender. Okay, the body of my scapula is here. My spine is this big part that sticks off of the back, where my acromion sort of attaches to. Okay, you also have like an inferior angle down here. So this point that sort of comes down is my inferior angle. So spine, body, acromion, coracoid, glenoid fossa. Okay, hopefully you can figure out the orientation. I think that might be all of them. Let me look. Oh, coxal bone. Sorry. So let me get that. So here is my coxal bone. This is one. You have two of them. So think both sides of your body. Okay. So this is going to be. This would be this side of my hip. Okay. the part that comes together here. So figure out, this is your acetabulum, okay? So this big hole, this is where your femur head goes into, okay? The big elephant ear part is my ischium, or my ilium. So this, think elephant ear, like elephant ear. This is my ilium. My ischium is this kind of big bumpy part. It's where you sit on it, okay? So it's where your butt sits down, okay? So ischial tuberosity, think bony butt, okay? So it kind of sticks out, and this part of my bone is my ischium. My pubic bone then forms sort of in the front here. So if you're riding a bike, you're sitting on your pubic bone. So the one hip comes into the other hip, okay? So I'm gonna show you it together, okay? So here is where the two pubis bones come together to form my pubic symphysis. This part back here is my ischial tuberosity, so it's kind of very large in comparison to the front in terms of size. So the skinnier part of the front, so you're orienting yourself, is the pubis bone. The big, heavier, thicker part back here is my ischial tuberosity. Okay, and then my big elephant ears again are my ilium. Again, acetabulum is going to be the hole in which this goes into. So where this fits in, okay? Let me go down, make sure I didn't miss anything. Obturator foramen is this big hole in the bottom, okay? So hopefully we're all good, okay? So that was week three skeletal. Hopefully you're on board with me. There's gonna be more to come, finishing up the bones. See you soon.